who is the quote-unquote easier of the two characters to play as in this game. But time's about to start here soon. In 3, 2, 1, start. Alright, so this is Resident Evil, as I mentioned, and it's in Japanese because I'm playing on the PC version. I'm pretty sure a lot of people aren't aware that there's actually a PC version of this game, and for the longest time it was really hard to get working on modern PCs, but thanks to some special patches that somebody made, we're able to run this on modern computers, which is nice, because the PC version of Resident Evil is actually the second fastest version of Resident Evil, behind the DS version, but that's a whole different game. But the best part about this PC version of Resident Evil is a specific speed tech called skipping door animations, which saves about 20 minutes from the entire game. So the start of this run's a little bit slow, because you just kind of have to get the game going, with a lot of cutscenes.
What is this?
What is it?
Which, by the way, I'm not going to be talking during a lot of the cutscenes, because the dialogue in this game is something of its own, and needs to be observed by all.
Hope this is not Chris's blood.
I'm going to go ahead and pick up this album, because I will be using it later on. Part of the route for this game is just optimizing when you pick stuff up, and when you're going to use it. So, we just saw a zombie, which is eating our dead comrade, Kenneth.
What is it?
No, it's a monster!
Let me take care of this.
And that is the strongest zombie in the entire game, because he took 3 magnum rounds to the head and was completely fine.
What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
So yeah, now we gotta go report this to Wesker. Just gonna go this way. But, oh no, Wesker's gone.
Wesker! Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time
So it's
being.
time to do a thorough investigation looking for Wesker real quick. There we go. And we couldn't find him. Too bad.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? Can't figure it out at all.
So this cutscene's a little bit long, so I'm gonna kind of explain the category a little bit. The category I'm running is called Jill Any Percent Glitchless. Jill obviously means I'm playing Jill's scenario in Resident Evil. Any percent means that I just get the bad ending of the game. And Glitchless is kind of a bit more to explain, because there are some glitches that allow you to skip parts of this game, and they're a bit finicky, and some of them are very difficult to pull off, and since it's single segment, they aren't particularly friendly for this kind of setting. And some of the tricks are just not particularly fun, so Glitchless is a more optimized and more popular category, but check out a glitched run if you ever get the chance, because it is kind of cool. I just don't run it because I have more fun with Glitchless. It's a lot more of a rewarding category. So now that we've got through all this nonsense, it's time to actually get the ball rolling. So the way we go through the game is there's like sort of objectives we have to do, not objectives per se, but you know, things to do, and that's a dog. We're gonna just run by them. So while we're running through these hallways, the first thing we need to do is kind of get our first key, and we also need to get a weapon. We have the pistol and the knife, but we're not going to use it. We only use one weapon in this entire game, which is the bazooka. And I'm going to fill up my inventory here with pistol bullets, as well as this chemical plant, or plant chemical, jeez, I can't talk right now, and this herb. We won't be using the herb or the bullets, we're just using it to fill up our inventory. One of the most recent changes to the route of this game allows us to save about 10 seconds, oh, hold on 1 second, by cutting out a part of dialogue in a cutscene, and I'll explain that when I get there. First we're going to try and dodge this enemy. This is one of the trickier dodges. Never mind, I got it. Alright, cool. So this cutscene, normally if you have a free inventory slot, Barry will give you acid rounds, but if your inventory is full, he won't do that, so it skips a part of that cutscene. Just means we have to go get acid rounds later, because we do have to get them at some point.
Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Alrighty. And before we go do what we need to do next, I need to open up my inventory, use this, and combine the bullets to free up some space. Because I'm going to go pick up the bazooka. It's right by Forrest Tear's dead body. And this is the weapon we're going to use for the entire run. The one weapon we're going to use, which we're barely even going to use that much anyways. Most of the speedrun for this game revolves around dodging enemies. There are some enemies we can't get past though, like this one. So we're going to just kill him, so we can push this statue. On the topic of enemy dodging, that is, like I said, the biggest way to save time because you'll run past most enemies if you understand their patterns and what they do. Resident Evil 1 has by far the simplest enemy AI and simplest mechanics overall. The other classic Resident Evils have far more things that can go wrong and a lot more to understand. So it's kind of nice and makes Resident Evil kind of like the least RNG heavy one in the entire series. So we're gonna go ahead and use this plant here, or this chemical. I keep confusing the two things. It's too late for me right now, but yeah, this is gonna allow us to kill this plant so that we can get our first key, which is gonna give us access to a couple different areas. And one thing about the game is it has tank controls and really awkward camera positions, so it's important to get good movement, but at the same time it's like really hard because your point of view is kind of changing every time. Whoop. Yeah, I apologize about my keyboard noises, by the way. I hope you guys like ambient keyboard noise because I can't really do much about it. If you don't like it, that's, well, quite frankly, too fucking bad. This is the Moonlight Sonata. It's not clicky keyboards. It's a pretty good song. And yeah, as I mentioned before, this is the PC version because it has one thing that makes it unique compared to the other versions, which is the ability to skip door animations. One thing I also can mention along that is that competitive times for Resident Evil 1 are using in-game time, which is very accurate, as it does not include time during transitions between menus, as well as any time that happens during a door animation, so how fast you do the door animation isn't really relevant, which is kind of nice. Alright, so now that we've gotten this taken care of, we have another emblem to use, and we're going to go put that in the fireplace, and it's going to reveal something pretty cool. It just revealed a key. Unfortunately, we're not going to grab it right now. We're actually going to grab this instead. We will be coming back here relatively soon to go grab that key, though. But next we're going to, kind of the next little, like, objective we need to do, which leads to us collecting a crest, which the big thing we have to do in the mansion first is collect 4 crests to get to the guardhouse. And, yeah, this is Richard.
Richard, what happened?
He's having a pretty bad day.
Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake, and also poisonous.
Poisonous? Richard, hold on.
There is serum.
So yeah, Richard's been poisoned by a giant snake.
Brought some with me.
That's totally gonna stop the, you know, 6-inch holes in his lung, but
Thanks.
regardless, we have to do this in order to get to the next part of the game. So we're kind of... we gotta go grab this serum. We'll grab a couple other things along the way. So yeah, we're just gonna go back downstairs. And head back to this room, and we're gonna go grab that key I just revealed. Right here. If I can grab it, that'd be great. Alright. We're gonna get past this zombie right here, hopefully. Nope, we didn't. I kind of screwed up. A sound just kind of threw me off, but one thing about zombie dodging is that when they're in an idle state, if you just kind of glance or run by them, they will slowly put their arms out, and their effective, like, grabbing ability is kind of limited there unless you run directly at them. So if you do that carefully, you can actually run around, right next to them and right around them, which is kind of useful here in particular because otherwise getting past him is a pain in the ass. And this is just, again, kind of along the lines of things and knowing enemy mechanics. So we're going to go to this inventory bin and dump a bunch of stuff. And grab this, which is the serum that's going to save Richard's life. I'm going to run past the puking zombies again. Past this guy. So, like, the basic thing with enemy manipulation is the AI for the zombies will always turn the direction you're approaching them. So if you approach them from behind one direction and then turn around, like, to the other direction, they will be basically unable to grab you.
Here's the serum. Richard, hold on. I'll give you a shot now.
Jill, here's my radio. You should keep it. I'm...
No! Richard!
Jill, be careful.
Alright, and Richard is unfortunately dead. But now that Richard's dead, we're going on to what might be the most difficult dodge in the entire game. Well, or at least it can be if things go badly, so I need to focus here. I'll explain what happens afterwards. That's a snake, by the way. Alright, that face is good. Oh god, that's such a wide turn. Okay, so unfortunately that didn't work out. I'm a total dumbass and missed that dodge. But the timing on that's really bad, really tough when he attacks late. But now that he bit me, I'm gonna unfortunately have to do a lot of backtracking. There's just... I had bad movement there, and he attacked really late. And really late attacks from the snake are really hard to dodge. You can dodge them, but it's strict timing, and... unfortunately, I didn't get that, so we get, hey, an extra cutscene. This is a perfect time for you guys to, you know, go take care of personal business, you know. You gotta take a piss, grab some Doritos, maybe jerk off a little bit. Now is the perfect time to do it. Because I'm basically just gonna be getting back there. But I'm still gonna go underestimate regardless. Because even with small mistakes like that, I'm still a god gamer. It's actually really unfortunate because that's like the biggest way to lose time in this entire run. Well, other than like dying, but if you do that, it basically runs over anyways. So yeah, I'm going to run here and I'm going to open this door again and just get out because this sets up for dodging this enemy a little easier. And I still get grabbed. God, wow, this is fucking amazing. It's almost like my practice, like, for the past few days just meant nothing, but that's fine. So we have to push these statues over these caps because they release poisonous gas, and we have to hit the switch that releases the poisonous gas in order to get the next crest. But I am probably going to play it a little safe. I mean, if I'm going to miss dodges like the ones I have, I probably need to play a little safe in some places. Alright, so we're going to dodge him. You can always dodge that enemy, because he will always turn that one direction. If you just run straight at him. And now we're going on to another puzzle for the final crest, which is my least favorite one to get, because it's very picky. The triggers in this game are a bit iffy, so it's like, you gotta be a little careful. But you also have to manage like a text scrolling speed, because unlike other Resident Evil games, you actually have to hold down a button to scroll through the text fast rather than just hit one button and then just mash. So there's a little bit of control and precision required for it to be fast. And it's really stupid. Alright, and there's the fourth and final crest. I also need to re-equip my bazooka, because I kind of missed it and I want to use it again. And just so happens to be a zombie right there that is really annoying to dodge without killing him. This dog here is kind of random. But like I said, this is probably the least random Resident Evil game. Realistically, there's only about 2 scenarios in the entire game where RNG can actually affect your run. One of them is with dogs in another area, but we are not even close to there yet. The other one is something we don't actually have to worry about with the route I'm using, because I'm using kind of a safe route for some sections. There are a lot of really fast strats you can do, but they're incredibly risky. Alrighty, and we also just picked up my favorite item in the game, which is the crank. It's such a popular item that it's reused in like every classic Resident Evil game ever made. And we're just going to use it to lower the water. This basically allows us to get to the next part of the game. It's the guardhouse, I believe it's called. I don't actually remember a lot of the names for a bunch of the things in the game, and my Japanese isn't good enough to translate it on the fly. But, first we gotta dodge these dogs here. This is a little bit of a trick. Oh, wow! That was... okay. This is exactly what's going to happen. I am okay with that. Alright. Dogs aside, let's get this key in this filthy, disgusting bathtub. Alright, because I am taking a lot of hits that I don't want to take, I might actually have to get an emergency first aid spray. Yeah, I definitely need it. My health is low. One thing that is different about Chris versus Jill is Jill has a lot less health than Chris does. If you've seen a speedrun of Chris's route, he tanks a lot more damage than Jill. Also, that's a tentacle. You know where this is going. But anyways, Chris and Jill, while the main game itself is kind of the same, there's a lot of really different things between their routes. And Chris also has a few more instances that are a little more RNG heavy. Alrighty, and now we're gonna push away these shelves so that we can do what might be the most exciting thing in the entire game, which is pushing boxes. So we're gonna set this up. And we're gonna push this a little more, and then we're gonna push the box. We're gonna push the box. Push the box. Contrary to what you might believe, no, Jill, I don't think actually moves faster than Chris. Chris's route is actually faster in general, but it's not because of that. It's because Chris has got less cutscenes to deal with. Like, the cutscenes in Jill's route are so unnecessarily long at points. It's even worse in the best ending category. I actually learned the best ending category, and I kind of stopped because the cutscenes were way too boring. Like, the dialogue's great, don't get me wrong, but they just go on for too long. And now the box puzzle's done, thank God. Because if that wasn't slow enough, we're going to start running through water, and that's going to make us even slower. And as you might recall, if you saw the run before this, you saw Ace of Seafood. Yeah, sharks have come to attack Jill. They're not happy about what happened last run. But we are going to make quick work of them by lowering the water. Yeah, that's the main difference. I should have explained that. She does have a lockpick, and she does carry more stuff. Alrighty, so we're gonna get this key and go all the way back into the guardhouse. Just use this one key. This one section's kind of annoying because there's a lot of just going places to get keys, to get other keys, to eventually get that one key. It's kind of annoying, actually. Also, I've said this category is glitchless. There is one thing we do in glitchless that some might say is a glitch, but it's really not. It's an animation cancel. It's called quick shooting. But I'll explain that once we get there, because it's coming up pretty quickly. Alright, so we're just gonna read this book really quickly. And what do you know? Oh, we have a book as well. Let's put it in here. I wonder what will happen. And now we're gonna fight this plant. Okay, so I messed up one of my quick shots. Quick shotting basically allows you to fire your guns slightly faster by canceling the like steadying animation a few frames before it's supposed to. So it allows you to shoot your gun a little bit faster. It is really not a huge time saver in some sections, but there's one particular area where it's very important not to mess up. But yeah. Now Barry's gonna come in convenient with a flamethrower that I have no idea why he has it, where he got it to begin with. But yeah, the bazooka kind of is a ridiculously good weapon, so damage dealing isn't really relevant there. Here comes a great dialogue moment, by the way.
You saved me.
Yeah.
That was close. Thanks, Barry.
Don't mention it. What a monster. I can't believe... What the hell is this place anyway?
Alright, so now we gotta get this key over here, which we couldn't get because there was a plant in the way. And if you recall, Wesker went missing at the beginning of the game, but now he's magically here.
Wesker.
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what
The nice thing about these cutscenes is you get time to just chill out
You disappeared
and,
from the hall.
you know, drink some water.
I'm sorry, but I have my reasons. Perhaps you guys have met them? It was all I could do to protect myself against those.
I'm really sad that I got bit by the snake. That's
Right.
so dumb.
Anyway, it's good to see you're safe.
Jill, our first priority is to get out of here.
Yes, you're right.
Now, there are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up. I have been looking around for clues.
Okay, I'll go to the other house and see if I can find any clues.
Will you do that? I'm counting on you.
Alrighty. So now that's kind of our context clue to go back to the mansion. But I do need to make a pit stop here quick. Grab this first aid spray. The plus side about the PC version is because you can skip door animations. Doing this doesn't really waste any time. Well, I mean, it does waste time, obviously, but it's not nearly as bad as if you were playing on console. So yeah, we're just doing some backtracking here. Also, more snakes are falling from the sky. That's something that they don't really explain, why snakes are just kind of falling. I mean, maybe they're coming out of the trees, but I just like to believe that they come from the sky. The way Resident Evil logic works, especially with how it just progressively makes less and less sense throughout each game, it would be a justifiable thing, to be honest. But now we're going to be introduced to another enemy, which casually people are terrified of these things because they're very dangerous. But we're not too worried about them. Those are hunters, by the way. They will swipe at you, but they also do a leaping attack that can, like, decapitate you, but you're never gonna ever have to worry about that. Unless we're just gonna squeeze by this guy real quick. Grab some ammunition. Oh wait, that's the wrong ammo. That's shotgun ammo. We don't actually... Please? Just grab these acid rounds, that's all I need. Alrighty. Enough of that shit. Yeah, dodging them is actually pretty simple. This is the only one that's kind of finicky. And I got hit, so it's... yeah. Fuck me, right? Alright, so now, remember that snake that bit us earlier? Well, we kind of just got away from him. But, he's coming back with a vengeance. By vengeance, I mean we actually have to kill him this time. Alright, so we got all our quick shots on him, so that boss fight went really well. If you miss a quick shot, you can still kill him pretty quickly, but if you miss more than one, he runs the risk of attacking you, but luckily he won't poison you.
Yes, but I can't.
Also, I'd like to note that Barry said, "Did you find anything interesting?" as he's standing on top of the smoking, melting snake corpse.
Do you? Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
Wait.
Hey, what's going on?
Now I've done it. Sorry, Jill. Wait. I'll go and get another rope.
Barry? Barry?
He wants us to wait, but we're not actually going to do that. We're actually going to look at this carefully placed tombstone here. We gonna do some exploring. Alright, just gonna kind of get by this guy. Alright. Got this dead guy right here. There's actually a really weird instance in this game where you can actually shoot him with the acid round and it won't actually kill him. It's only ever happened to me once. But it's one of those things that could happen. And get rid of this guy. So now we're completely dry on ammo. But luckily, this battery we need to pick up is right next to, conveniently, 2 cases of explosive artillery. The fact that that's just lying around there is kind of nice. Alrighty, so now we're back in the kitchen again. We're gonna be taking another exit to the mansion, but we gotta get past this zombie. That dodge is actually one of those dodges that looks a lot harder than it actually is. It's actually incredibly easy. We just gotta sneak around this guy. Alrighty, I hope that nobody here has arachnophobia like I do, because spiders are kind of scary. Big spiders are also kind of scary. But we can just run past them, thank God. Happy Halloween, everyone. Alright, and this is my favorite dodge in the game right here. Just kind of run right at him and then turn around him. I don't pick up both explosive ammo things because I literally only need one for the rest of the game. It would be completely arbitrary to pick it up and it would completely screw up my inventory. Which, like I said, the main thing with inventory and routing in this is it's kind of like optimized to a point where you pick up certain items and basically get everything you just need to beat the game, nothing else. There's no need for anything else. Inventory's a little bit different if you do the best ending though, because there's extra items you have to pick up. So we're gonna put this battery here that we picked up. And this part's a little bit annoying because it's a lot of going back and forth, but we have to do it in order to get to the underground section of the game, which is like the next big area. And this is one of those instances of RNG, is where those dogs are. You can't see where they are and they kind of move randomly, so you just kind of hope that they don't get in the way, and unfortunately they did. There's not really anything you can do about it. Alright. But yeah, that's like one of the only 2 major instances of RNG. If it was Resident Evil 3 on the other hand, god, that is a whole other ballgame. Also, this is the worst trigger in the game. As I mentioned, triggers are a little bit finicky for like activating stuff. And now we're gonna go underground. And it looks pretty safe right now, but just give it time. It'll get dangerous here in a second. But we're coming on what might be my favorite dialogue exchange in the entire game.
Is that Jill?
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Wait there. Are you with anybody, Jill?
What? Oh no, I'm alone. But why are you asking?
Listen, the stars are going to be finished soon. Someone is a traitor. Everything was plotted from the start by Umbrella.
Enrico! Who killed him, I wonder?
Yeah, rip Enrico. But, you know, I was pretty excited about getting the crank, but now the game changes. Now we have 2 cranks. Double the fun. So we're just gonna dodge these hunters real quick. And now we're gonna use the extra crank, which I think like the difference is like the tip that you insert is a little bit different. Hold on. Actually, I gotta equip this because we're gonna need those bazooka rounds here shortly. Yeah, you can skip doors in the PC version. That's a PC exclusive thing. Well, it's not, actually, no, it's not technically. You can skip doors in the DS version, but the DS version is a very different game. Alrighty. So we're just going to investigate that, and oh no, the boulder's gonna start moving. It's also like the loudest friggin' thing in the entire game. The audio levels in the PC version are really bad, by the way. And now we're going on to another pretty interesting thing, which is the Black Tiger fight, which is the gigantic spider. But if we do this correctly, basically can just do that really easily. What we do is we position ourselves in a particular spot in front of Black Tiger, and that particular spot basically allows it so that he will spit his poison, but he will always miss. It is not the fastest way to do it, but it is the safest because you don't run the risk of getting poisoned, because the other major obstacle of RNG, if you do the fastest route, requires you to get hit by the poison spit. But whether or not you get poisoned is totally random, and if you get poisoned, the rest of the run becomes incredibly risky. But that strategy is very safe. It's only a little bit slower, and it's way easier to do. It used to be difficult to get the PC version running on modern hardware, but now it's not anymore, because somebody made a patch for it. So we got another statue pushing puzzle here. And this one's kind of important because it kind of emphasizes the necessity of like precise movement, because what we're doing with this social puzzle is we're pushing the statue 4.5 times so that we don't have to crank the wall. We can just do this. So we can push this statue onto this plate and get the book. Because these 2 books we actually need in order to get to the final section of the game, which is the laboratory. So we're just gonna, this is a really picky area. We're just gonna read the book. And then, oh my gosh, there's a surprise in there. Wow, it's like when you're unwrapping Christmas presents and there's like that hidden present there. It's exactly what's happening here right now. We get tokens. But yeah, the place where you place those tokens is very, very awkward. Especially because of the angle that you have to do it at. And like the fact that it's like not a true 3D plane makes it even worse. Alrighty. So now we're in the laboratory, which is the last major area of the game. Can you believe it? It's almost over. And normally in this area we're supposed to find documents and such, I think, in order to get to this computer here, which requires passwords. but the passwords are never different, so if you know them, you can just do them right now. So we're going to use username John, password Ada. Anyone who's played another Resident Evil game will recognize those names. But yeah, now that we know the password, we can just basically access the computer and unlock the second basement floor, which has a key that we need to get. Also, I should remind you that this is a PC version of the game, but you still have to use a manual directional-based input to type in letters for the password, not just typing on your keyboard, because that would require more effort on their part. Alright, so we're gonna go back up here real quick so we can get to the room. Look at this funny looking panel right here. Hit the button. And we're gonna pick up this key here, which is going to take us to the area to the generator room. There's two ways you can get to this door that we need to unlock. I'm going to take the safe route because if I don't do the safe route, there's a high risk that I can die, and that would not look very good. It's only like a second slower though, and it just requires that you use an extra bazooka round. So now we're going to the generator room, which introduces another enemy, which is the Chimera. These are equally as big a pushover as any other enemy in the game. Like, all their attacks are super easy to dodge. This is like the only part of the game you actually see them in. Alright, so we're gonna activate this generator. I also know that most of my commentary is just explaining like these mundane tasks that I'm doing. It's literally what this speedrun is. It sounds more boring than it actually is. The game's actually pretty fun. There's a lot of emphasis on like movement and execution without bullshit getting in the way, and that's really awesome. So now we're gonna activate this elevator, which is going to lead to a very fun and excessively long cutscene, which contains betrayals and amazing dialogue execution.
Wait for me.
Barry, don't screw up again like you did when you dropped that rope.
So yeah, this is usually when I'm streaming. This is when my designated time to go take a piss, because I've got more than enough time to do it.
Wesker?
You did a fine
But I'll let
job.
the cutscene do the talking.
Just as I thought.
I think you should stay away from Barry, Jill. I hear that his wife and 2 daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
You are so cruel.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything, because you'll be free from this world very soon, Jill.
Why do you have to destroy stars?
That's Umbrella's intention. This laboratory has been engaging in dangerous experiments, and recently an accident has occurred. Anyway, this disaster cannot be made public.
That's why having stars nosing about is so inconvenient. So you're a slave of Umbrella now, along with these virus monsters.
I think you misunderstand me, Jill. To me, the monsters you mentioned mean nothing. I'm going to burn all of them together with this entire laboratory. I must complete my mission, as ordered by Umbrella. Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
Barry!
I also just want to say that this looping music is absolutely awful.
Barry's such a fool. He'll be under the control of Umbrella forever.
How come both Umbrella and you intimidate him by taking his family as hostages?
Umbrella? Well, I intimidated him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella. I just used him for my personal purposes, though both you and Barry seem to think I was following orders from Umbrella.
So you're planning something else?
If you succeeded in developing the world's most powerful biological weapon, what would you do? What if you were in charge?
You must stop this now.
You're a brave girl, but if I were you, I wouldn't give up such a big discovery. You guys are idiots. No one understands its real value.
So, you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet, I'm going to show you the tyrant.
Alright, so now we're gonna watch the Tyrant, which means, yay, another cutscene. Also, I failed to mention any of, like, the,
Virus is a super
FMV cutscenes can be skipped. Only the in-game ones can't be skipped.
human beings. Tyrant is the most powerful biological weapon in the world.
You don't mean you're experimenting on real people?
This is really beautiful. All this power will be mine.
For the sake of an awful creature?
Don't be upset. All weak people exist to me.
Alrighty, and this is the final boss of the game.
Don't come this way!
It's not the end of the game, but this is like the last major boss enemy. The most powerful biological weapon in the world. The Tyrant.
It can't control what it does.
So we're just gonna sit here. And boom. Yeah, like I said, the bazooka is really powerful in this game. They definitely did some reworking with damages and boss health in Resident Evil 2, though. And Resident Evil 3, for that matter. There's also Code Veronica, but that game's absolute garbage, so that's all I'm gonna say about it. But now we just need to get the hell out of this mansion, or this laboratory, I guess I should say at this point. But we're about to come on to be the, probably the most tragic moment in the entire game. Because remember, Barry just kind of went above the ground and something hurt him. I don't know what it is, but something.
It's you.
Barry?
I'm really embarrassed to see you now. Just leave me. Go quickly.
It's over, Barry. Wesker's dead.
Is that so? Jill, will you do me a favor? This is my last wish. Please give this photo to my family. Will you?
Sure.
Give me, Jill.
Like I said, saddest moment. He hands you a picture of his family. Please make sure to press F to pay your respects. And we're just gonna get the hell out of here. So as you can see, I'm the only one escaping. If you got the best ending, you'd be escaping with Chris and Barry. But fuck both of those guys, I want to get out of here. So we're gonna put this battery that was pulled, like literally the battery is right next to the thing where you're supposed to put it. Some jackass probably played a prank in like the laboratory and is like, oh, it's gonna be funny if I just pull this out and put it a few inches in front of its hole, And now we're gonna shoot off this flare, and this is gonna trigger the last cutscene in the game. Time will stop when the cutscene fades, and I'll let you know when that is. Because that's when the in-game time stops. Overall, this run was kind of sloppy, and that's not a huge deal to me. Because it was still fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Resident Evil's a pretty fun game. It's probably the most accessible Resident Evil speedrun. If you want something that's more better as a casual gameplay, the remake, because it's way better. And time is coming up. slowly but steadily. Now, time. Alrighty.
Alright.
What was my time?
Got a 44:47.
Very nice. Alright, I'm kind of curious what the in-game time is, so I'm gonna cancel these cutscenes to check that out. By the way, Tyrant totally survived. Spoilers. 41. Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's pretty nice. 41:43. Alright, so yeah, thanks for everyone who was watching. I believe the next run is actually going to be a really good run, so make sure to stay tuned in for that. And thanks to everyone for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Like I said, up next we got Super Mario 64, 120 stars, so stick around for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.